audio here. Can you mute it? I guess because of this. I
Hey, my class just started. Okay. So the economic model is pretty straightforward. And here's the math, how this is all calculated. You're going to have a buyer side and you're going to have a seller side. And so on the buyer side, you would multiply the number of buyers sold by your average sales price to get your buyer sold volume. Then multiply that number by your average commission, which is usually about 2.85% for our area. And I think the average sales price right now is about 215,000 across the board for just our office and our territory. And then once you have that, you're going to have your gross revenue from both your buyers and from your sellers. And you do the same process for the seller side. So you multiply the number of sellers sold times your average sales price and times your average commission rate to get your gross revenue from sellers. So the two figures will equal your total gross revenue. And you're going to have to subtract your expenses from that gross revenue to come to get your net income. So let's look at this economic model on the screen. So let's actually start from the benefits of the economic model on page 3.1. It says provides the number of appointments and units sold to meet your goal, reveals your conversion rates and identifies areas for improvement, allows for mastery over your business, keeps the focus on profit first perspective, which is just leading with revenue, not expense, and it helps you keep your budget model in line, provides you benchmarks to hold your team or yourself accountable, and allows you to gain insight into your economic decisions before you make them. So it's just a gauge, and it's very important that you track and know these numbers so that you can become that millionaire real estate agent. So let's turn page. So we were talking about the performance, your activities, the time investment, money investment, all equals outcomes. So when you're looking at this economic model, you're beginning with the end in mind. So it tells you that you want to be a millionaire real estate agent. So because of proven systems, models, facts, they know, Keller Williams knows that 30% of your business is going to go to expenses. And 30% is also going to cost of sales. And we're talking about on the level of the millionaire real estate agent, not just the agent model. This is an agent that has production and is experienced and is ready to move to the next level. Now, I can do a variation of maybe 36 transactions closed in a year that will give you something similar to this MREA economic model. And I can provide that as well to all of you. So, all of that said, the total gross income you'll need to net a million is 2.5. And then this average commission amount is nationwide, so it's 7150 and based on a total of about 350 units sold. So you don't have to manually do all of this calculation yourself. It's already in here for you. All the calculations auto-populate based on the information that you put in the green box. So we know that as agents, as wanting to grow to millionaire real estate agents, you just put in your goal here to net 1 million, sorry.
What would be included in the cost of sale?
Okay, so cost of sales is the amount of money related to the cost of making sales. So it's like your listing specialist, the money that you pay that person, the royalties you pay your company, company dollar, that 30% that comes to Keller Williams and caps at 18, that's your cost of sales. Let's talk about your expenses. That's salaries, that's marketing, anything related to like signs, presentations for your buyers, your sellers. All of that is incorporated into your expenses. Cost of sales is basically what you're paying out to others. And then the expenses are actually your admin, salary, rents, all of that. Yeah. And so your gross commission income is basically the total revenue of your sales, your closed transactions. So let me put in $1 million here. Try again. And then, so that's 100 million. I'm sorry. That's a very ambitious goal, right? All right. So that's 10 million.
You're gonna get a bigger city.
Yeah. Let's see. Now we are at $1 million. So you see those percentages auto-filled for me on the right side, and it's based on the budget model. Hi, Veronica. No, you're fine. And so that means that you can go ahead and fill in the 750,000 for your expenses, 750,000 for your cost of sales when you're growing that team, which is going to give you that gross income of 2.5 million. We have zeros. Yes, and then your average commission by the book is 71.50. And what did we have that divided by? I believe that average, the commission is divided by, I wonder why it didn't show up there. But it is divided by your total units. And so 350 total units. How do y'all feel about that when you're growing a team? You know,
Starting out pretty scary.
Starting out, it is pretty scary. But let's go down here and say, so the listing side, sellers as a percentage of your total units sold is going to be 50%, and your buyer side will be 50%. So that's where you're probably, at that point, you're going to have an admin and probably a buyer's agent, because you're going to be the rainmaker responsible for going out and getting the listings. And then you're going to have buyer's agents showing that property, and you're going to have an administrative assistant that's just going to push out all the paperwork, all the marketing for you, so that you can get to close transactions, because that's the whole goal. And so the total seller listings sold, when you do the math, like I said, the math is already done for you with this spreadsheet. You're going to have the 175 rounded, and then your conversion rates, they're saying it's 70 on the buy and sell side. Sometimes that's 60-40. It just depends on your focus. And then as far as conversion rates, usually there are about 75%. So for every 4 appointments you go on, you're going to convert about 70. So every 4, you're going to convert about 3 to appointment taken, or excuse me, a contract taken, a seller listing taken, a buyer listing taken. And then from there, you're going to convert and close 27.8 transactions on the listing side, and then 29.7 on the buy side. And this is saying per month. And really, if you're a new person, a new agent in the business, it's usually going to be about 36 on both sides, or maybe 36 for that first year, given a period of time, 12 months. I could see 36 transactions closed in a year for someone that's just starting out in the business. Any questions about
Yeah, can you
that?
go back up at the top there,
Uh-huh.
where you got your 750,000?
Mhm.
That's 30%. Is that number an arbitrary number that you're setting, or is it pulling?
No, that's actually a part of the economic model, and then also in the budget model, those are your standards. Typically, they're saying that 30% of your business goes to expenses at that level, and then 30% goes into cost of sales. So, and then you're gonna keep that 40%, which is your net income. But it's all basic science out of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then, let's see here, what else do we have to talk about? Let's move on. If you don't have any more questions about 3.1, we can move on to 3.3, which is about performance, investment, and outcomes. Well, performance plus investment equal outcomes. So we're going to talk about performance is how well you apply your skills, behavior, ability, and resources to produce the revenue. And a part of the performance is your behavior, skill level, ability, resources, leads, appointments, talent, systems, and tools. And we know that when you're starting out, your leverage is your leads. So you have a pyramid, and there's leads that lead to listings that lead to leverage. So you want to focus your business primarily on getting those listing appointments, contacting your database, really getting them put in a system, in a campaign, and send out smart plans to everybody you know, because you never know who's interested in investing or selling or buying real estate. So I always encourage everybody to just take your phone, and if you have a way to export those contacts into a CSV file, Scott Leroy can just take that and put it into your KW Command database for you. And then you can start filtering and going through those leads, and just reach out to them, find out all the information you know about those people, because they can lead to closed transactions for you. It's a way of growing your business and also letting people know that, hey, you're in real estate. So, and then we're going to, let's see here, it says investment is the time you spend on lead generation and conversion, along with the expenses related to both. So investment is about your time block for lead generation, basically. And then how much money are you investing in lead generation? Are you just cold calling people? Are you calling people in your database? Are you buying leads? That all plays a factor into your investment. And we're hoping it produces a dollar outcome for you. So it says outcomes are the prize. The results of your performance and investments, your GCI or gross commission income, and net income or profit. So that would be your dollar producing activities again. Everything you're doing to grow your business to get to that level as a millionaire real estate agent. Okay. Moving on. So on page 3.5, we have the elements of the economic model. You're always going to focus on your gross commission income, which is beginning with the end in mind. And open this up. All right. 3.5. So we've already kind of gone over this. You're starting out with your gross commission income. You're going to subtract out your expenses, your cost of sales, which is always 30%. Then you get your net income. Your net income doesn't include taxes, by the way. So whatever you're making, you should definitely put aside 25% in a separate account, business account or personal account, to pay those taxes. And you might want to see a CPA if you're you get above $40,000 in net income just because they can give you some tips about your deductions and being in sales, so you're not having to pay out so much to Uncle Sam.
Because it's like 30% for an independent contractor before deductions, right?
Yeah. Yep. So, and then, let's go. So then we have, okay, net income, which then means you gotta take out your operating, it's the reverse, basically. To focus on your gross commission income and then focus on your net income and your profit. What you're seeing is the same formula in reverse. It just depends on how you choose to look at it. Because we're gonna start out with your cash flow of your gross commission income being 2.5 million. And then it's 50-50 split on listing side and buyer side. That all depends on your conversion rates though. And then you have your listing cost of sales, how much you're spending, or excuse me, how much you're paying out to your listing agents, and your admin and your company dollar and your royalties. And then you have your buyer agent cost of sales, which will probably be a whole lot more because you're going to be paying buyers agents to show these properties and help you grow this business. And so the two together will equal 1 million in net income. Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's move on then. So turn to page 3.7 in your manual. The 3 drivers of the economic model. It's again a bit of a repeat, but it starts with appointments, and then your appointments you sign, appointments to signed agreements, then agreements to close transactions. So leads to appointments is generating leads and converting into buyer and seller appointments. Appointments to signed agreements, using appointments to secure clients with your exclusive right to represent with a signed service agreement, basically. Agreements to close transactions, serving clients and facilitating a closed transaction. So that's turnkey service. And you can do all of these 3 drivers with our Keller Williams command system. So for me, I would think the first priority would be to get your database complete. And then you want to start reaching out to those people. And you can create neighborhood nurtures. And that neighborhood nurture will send out, depending on their time frame, campaigns about new listings that meet their criteria, or anything in their neighborhood that has gone under contract or is pending or is for sale. It's just really customizable and hyper local. So, and then let's move on to conversion rates. Let's see. So your investment, seller appointment 75%, which is, that's every 4 you'll have 3. And then your buyer's appointments is at 70%, seller agreement 70%, home sold 70%. And all of these conversion rates, you're seeing them and you're like, what do they mean? They all be broken down in the business model for you. But they're just, those percentages are just indicators of your skill and your performance. Are there any questions?
Crystal,
Yes.
any CPAs, local CPAs left their information with Keller Williams?
I
Maybe
believe-
up front?
They're up front.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's a great idea to definitely, you know what Carol says? Carol says that when you start in real estate, you should always open up a separate bank account, even, and you can use that bank statement for your expenses, for your income, and you can just provide that to your accountant.
Exactly.
And that is how you get your tax return, basically. So that's definitely something that you should think about doing if you haven't already done it. 3.8, let's see. Millionaire Real Estate Economic Model, page 3.9, is a review of beginning with the end in mind, which is your net income of $1 million. And there's the breakdown for you. Now, it's operating expenses, cost of sales, total GCI, all that's already been done for you up here, so you can see it. This is just an activity for you all to do, but then it breaks down how they came to those numbers. So on the sales side, you have 50% of your sellers listings sold equal a certain number, and that gives you your total seller listings sold. And then you would divide that by 70% sold conversion rate, and then that would give you the total seller listings needed. And then you divide that by 75% appointment conversion rate, which then equals your total seller appointments needed, which again is already broken out for you on this spreadsheet. And if you just put in the numbers that are in green, everything else will fill out for you. So if you're not at that level, you can go in here and modify all of these numbers. So say, let's start with this net income. Say you want your net income to be 100,000. Just starting, right? And so then you're going to take the 30% of that 100,000. Where's my times? Sorry. I don't see it. It's not on here. It's not coming up. Am I losing it? There it is. Sorry. Times 30%. It's your 30,000. Same here. Let's key in that number, 30,000. So then this is going to mean 60. And this is going to mean, I think right now the average for our area is 6,200. And I'm thinking this is right. So that means that for you to make $100,000 in net income, you need to close about 25 units. And I think that's very doable. And so, yeah, in a given time period, probably a year, because if you break that out, I would say a year. Yeah, that ends up being about 2 a month. So you can do a listing side and a buyer side. And then you start growing your business, because maybe those people that you're closing and the people that you're listing with have people that are interested in buying and selling real estate. And that's how you get your referral business going. So, I mean, for me, the economic model from like accounting standpoint is perfect for anyone interested in doing well in real estate, because it just basically gives you the formula that you need to succeed. And so if you're able to track those numbers and follow those numbers and time block to do your lead generation, you're going to be successful. I mean,
It makes it a lot easier to set goals like that, like having the numbers right there, knowing like, okay, 2, 3 a month equals about $100,000 a year in net income. If you're consistent, being able to set those goals of getting 2 or 3 a month.
Yep, absolutely. And depending on where you're focusing your business will really show you your average commission. Because if you're focusing your business at Smith Mountain Lake, those prices are a whole lot higher, you know? So it all depends on you and the territory you're choosing to work. So, but In general, our average is about 215 right now, just all across the board with all of our offices and actual closed business. That's what we're saying. So, and then Shalaya, she's a whiz at command. And if she doesn't have the answers, she can get with Scott Leroy and he can help, just help you build your business, help you set up those campaigns. So you just set it up and then you just kind of forget it until they come back to you and say, hey, I like this property. Can you show it to me? So let's go. Moving on. Okay, so we have already walked through the example of the millionaire real estate agent model. So how will you be able to meet your goals and what will you use to meet those goals? Do you have a calendar? Do you have a plan? Do you have a 411? All those tools that are provided to you by Keller Williams. I mean, how do you track your business now? I mean, you are just starting, you've been in the business, Veronica's been in the business. How do you plan to track your business other than using the KW command to keep you focused so that you're hitting your goals, so that you're making that money that you want?
So I just started a spreadsheet on Google Sheets as well. And I went through like FSBOs on Zillow and then just started inputting all the information on there. That way, when I call them, I can update it, so I'm not calling the same person.
Smart, definitely. And how about you, Tyler?
I haven't even thought about that yet.
You haven't? Okay. Well, you know what? Now's the time. And Veronica, I'm sure you have a spreadsheet.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I have resources, but this time I will definitely hire a CPA.
Yes,
Because that gives you, I see how that can give you direction as well. And keep
absolutely.
you on target with, especially taxes.
Oh, yeah. Taxes are a major
Mm-hmm.
factor when you start getting those goals, those numbers. You're thinking that you have all this money and then you have 25% to 30% that has to go down for Sam, but there are ways around that. So, you just consult a CPA and the CPA can just show you the way.
I did independent contractor work in like 30 grand, done it a couple times, painting. But that's like completely different when you're getting into big numbers like that. It was easy with 30 grand,
Yeah.
to like get deductions and all that stuff.
So you can only imagine being a millionaire real estate agent when $1 million would do as far as taxes. So it's very important to have those people in place to help you with that part of the business.
I think the biggest thing was tracking mileage too for my car.
I think there's like a number that you hit, like a max. I think it's like 10,000 miles or something like
For
that.
real estate or just in general?
I think it's just for real estate. I think it's up to 10,000 miles now. Don't quote me because it could have changed. It changes a lot.
I drove that in the last month.
Yeah, there's no cap in painting, so.
Yeah.
We're a ton of miles off.
So it's very important to consult an accountant.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
And so what about you, George? How do you track your business?
I mean, mine, I use spreadsheets like QuickBooks. And,
Okay.
most of it, and then I have CPA to help me
Very
as far as
good.
taxes go at the end of the year. And I just keep paying.
That's good. And do you pay your taxes quarterly or?
Yeah, we pay quarterly, and then of course, in the year, I pay again. So
Very good. So when we move forward on into the budget model, it talks about your profit and loss statement. So there's software that you can use for that. QuickBooks is one, and it's very easy to use. And you can get your CPA to set it up. I can help you set that up. It's not hard at all. There are even some products where when you get a deposit, because all of our commissions are ACH, they'll automatically pull that information in. It's embedded into the actual software, the QuickBooks software.
QuickBooks will do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll pull it all year.
So just keeping that in mind. And also, there are some factors that you want to avoid as far as the economic model traps. Not understanding the power of the economic model and using it in two ways to check where you are and as a planning tool. Number two is not using the economic model as a guide to decision making, not looking at the business, not looking at your business as a whole, not knowing or improving your conversion rates, not holding yourself to your goals, not knowing how much lead generation is required to secure the appointments needed, and then not using the economic model to create the other MREA models, which those are coming in future. And definitely you can leverage your technology. Like I said, the features in Command will definitely help you with the economic model. This spreadsheet will definitely help you with that. You've just got to create a plan for yourself. And a lot of times, if you put it in front of you, like on a vision board, if you take this and blow it up real big and put it in front of you and have in the back of your mind, the reason why I want to hit these numbers is because that'll be like a motivating driver for you. So let's see. Set your goals in Command and track your progress. Talked about that. And then also Command is not actually real time. So when you're looking at Command and the numbers, you're seeing the prior month production. And International, of course, they're working on getting that to real time. And I'm thinking sometime either in the fall or early spring next year is when all of that will be real time for you. So if you need real time actual numbers, you always have to come to me and I'll pull them for you through whatever the day is, year to date. So just keep that in mind. And there is, when you log into your Command, there is something called answers.com. So if you have questions and we're not here to help, you can just go there and ask those questions. It's a huge resource database. Okay.
Did you say the spreadsheet was in the book?
The spreadsheet here, I'm going to email it to you. It's actually on KW Connect. I'm just going to share it with you as a view only, and then you can save it in your Google Drive and put in the numbers. And yeah, there are instructions at the top just in case you forget, because you're really not going to know your averages until you start getting the business and the experience. So I'd say probably in a year, you'd know a little better, so just work to get those 2-3 closings every month and the seller listings, and just make sure you have a plan and follow the model. Don't deviate from it, because you don't want to have to recreate the wheel when it's already here for you. So on page 3.15, there is my business plan, economic model, actual. So that's actually what you're planning on doing in a year. I would say 12 months. And you want to go through and read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the pages that correspond with the economic model, so that you have a better understanding of what information you need to be putting in this section for yourself. And I believe we've always taught that the new agent or an agent under 2 or 3 transactions will close at least 36 deals if they follow the model. So if you want to keep that number as your goal for a year, you can. And if you need help, I can help you one-on-one. You just have to schedule a time and we can go over it. So it says on page 3.15, my business plan economic model, begin by writing your net income goal. You're beginning with the end in mind. Divide net income by 40% or 0.4 to calculate your GCI, and you're going to write that number down. Then you're going to multiply that GCI by 30% for both your operating expenses and your cost of sales. Then you're going to write in your average commission amount. Again, that's like $215 for our area if you don't have one. And then you're going to divide that total GCI by your average commission amount to calculate the number of units to be sold. And then calculate the rest of the formulas. If you do not know your split between the sell side and the buy side, use an estimate or use the MREA example of 50-50. In general, our office is about a 60-40 buyer to listing conversion on the buyer side and listing side. I've only seen it rise in a really good buyer's market, I guess. I would say that because there's such a listing shortage right now, I'm not sure 50-50 is the proper estimate. So I would say more like 60-40. And then you're going to use estimates of MRE examples for each conversion rate. And they want you to use those estimates in the book because they are proven. So, and then it breaks down that calculation again, which is right up here, and I'm going to share it with you. And you want to keep an economic model, two versions of it. One that shows where you are, and then one that shows where you're going. So the first one would be what you actually believe your goals are going to be. And then the second one is your future goals. So have that in mind as well. So you can actually just duplicate this and just change the numbers for your future. So.
Especially we've got the conversion rate. What did you say the average was on the percent sold versus rate on buy side sales?
Oh, okay. So for us, our area is 60%.
Okay, so 60.
60-40. So it's a little different.
So 60 on the sell side.
Mhm. All right. Page 3.17 is my business plan economic model, your pro forma, which is your second economic model, where you're kind of forecasting your future. And so we have the tools of the 411, which will keep you accountable. And I can email that to you, and the instructions for the 411 is explained on the actual document, but it's basically your goals and how to break those goals out, basically from an action goal to your annual goals, then your monthly goals, then your weekly goals. It all breaks out to a formula. So it makes it easier for you to understand. And it doesn't seem so big, but Gary Keller says, think big, so, and aim high, so.
So was the sold and the appointment conversion rate the same?
Sold, and yeah, I would say so. Let's see.
And then those are the conversion rates that we have to learn on our own, right?
Yes, those are your conversion rates that you need to learn, but you want to actually just use those in particular, because those are proven.
You said 60-40.
60-40 on like our area, our listings to buyers close is 60-40 in our area. But the actual conversion rates, you want to keep them as close to the model as possible.
Okay,
So when you're looking at your listing side and your buy side, it's not 50-50. For our area, it's more 40% on the listing side and 60% on the buy side. But the conversion rates always stay the same. at least you want them there. Because if you're not there, then it's probably that you need more script practice. You need practice with listing presentations, with your buyer presentations, it's all of that. It's just skill. And so on page 3.19 is your 411, the action goal worksheet. Again, it breaks your annual goals out, your monthly goals, weekly goals. You can also use this 411 for your personal goals or for your spiritual goals or any goal that you have in mind. And then you can take this 411 and create a vision board, and you can put that in front of you. And so you always know the reason why you're doing all this work, you know? So, yeah. Okay, so we talked about the performance, the investment, which equals your outcomes, the 30-30-40 element of the economic model, which will be explained a little more in detail in the budget model. And then we talk about cash flow, where you're starting with your gross commission income and how all that money funnels through to get you a net income. We talked about the 3 drivers of the economic model, which starts with your appointments. And then those conversion points should be as close to the model as possible. I would not go away from those. Only with the listing side versus buy side is the 60-40. So the 40% on the listing side and the 60% on the buy side is for our territory. But everything else should just remain the same. And let's see, does anyone have any questions for me?
So, okay, I'm sorry, I keep asking the same thing, but, so for the buyer, sellers listing sold, right, on the sell side, are you saying the conversion rate or the ratio for sellers to buyers?
That's right, the ratio from sellers to buyers.
So that would be 40%.
For the list side. Where it says 50% up here, that should be 40%.
Okay.
And then on the buyer side, it should be 60%.
And then both of the conversion rates, you would keep as close to.
70% as possible.
Okay.
And also with your appointment conversion rate. We would like to think that you get 100% of all of your appointments, but you never know. So 75% is just a good number to stick with.
Okay.
And so look at that. That's very doable for, I mean, total seller appointments per month 2, and then total buyer appointments per month 2. And then you're just converting those into closed contracts. And we have all the systems and tools here to help you with that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a copy of this, and I'm going to share it with everybody here in the class. While I'm here to make sure you get it.
Hey, how are you? Right, I don't. Can you text?
So this allows me to share. Might be that, oh, here we go, share. And what you want to do is make a copy when I share it with you and add it to your drive. So that, yeah.
I love Google Drive.
I love Google Drive too. It stores so much information for me. You can get to it quickly as well. George, and Veronica, and I have Tyler, and Riley, and you said Vanessa is on Zoom. Shall I?
I'll send it to the Zoom ones
Okay.
because there's like 5 of them.
Okay. So I've shared that with you all. So now for homework, you get to go through the process of the economic model and put those numbers in your book, and then you'll be ready for your lead generation model at next class. Because that's going to show you, give you some tips and tricks on like skills for scripts and lead generating tools and resources that you might use in your business. So that's all I have for millionaire real estate
Thank you for explaining that well.
economic model. I hope it went well for you, but if you still have questions, you can always reach out to me. All right, is everybody good?
You made it easy to understand something.
I did. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.